Hi, my beautiful brothers and sisters. This is Mary Hernandez with Genesis Kingdom Part 1. So I know I did, I usually write a date, and I didn't for the first time. Hallelujah. Oh, yeah, I didn't. But I did one of the Holy Grail, the Holy Grail, which is a woman's covet. This is kind of like the offset. Remember when I told you I seen the Da Vinci Code, and usually I take notes when they say certain words, and it talked a lot about the history, and it's all backed up with Bible verses, and then of course they add their own part to it. So with that being said, I wanted to do the history of the Priory Sion. The Priory Sions were known as far as the keepers of the Holy Grail, which is the chalice, and I did this with you. With the holy, it's also known as the Holy Grail, which is Christian tradition, the vessels that is used in the Last Supper. Remember how I used that and how it tells you that it was a cup, and everybody thought it was an actual cup. They had no cups, that they were like, drink my blood, because that's a blood covenant, that's not of God. It actually was talking about the woman. She's the vessel. And the Priory Sion, she's a sangreal. And then I did, which is the royal blemish, comes with Mary Magdalena. And the daughters that were the firstborn. So it's kind of like they birthed the Israelites, the bloodline of the real creator of heaven and earth, our Mother God. So I wanted to do a little bit of studying in what that meant, the holy, the Priory Son. And it brought me across, and they had a massacre that was done, and back even in 1307, when this happened, they had the Priory Sion that were there, which were the keepers, where they were also the Knight Templars. Okay, well, they went in there. They were in there. The Priory Sons were in there, and the Knight Templars went in there. And they did what they did. They ambushed the keepers that were there watching and killed them. And then they went in there as if they're masquerading as they were the Priory Sion. Well, people didn't know. So the Priory Sion bloodshed, that they were butchered, the church, the French, and they conquered the holy city of Jerusalem. The crusade was a massive sweeping of history. A brotherhood of Sion, Sion, and the military arm were the Knights Templars. This was in the 1300s. The Vaticans, the Europe, the heretics. This was in October 13, 1307, Friday, that's why they have a history. Oh, Friday the 13th. That's what they do. That it's almost like, it's almost like a holiday to them. Because they did the biggest massacre that they have done. But the Priory Sion were known as the keepers. The Knight Templars were the ones that went in there and did a sweep. So they kept the higher. So the Da Vinci Code is Christianity Bible. It's supposedly the Priory Sions that were hitting. They were hitting the bones, and that was just a history that was done. But it also has, that we're also going to get the revelation. That the Priory Sion has hidden bones of Mary Magdalena, together with numerous documents proving the truth until the right time. So the right time's going to come, that everything's going to be presented and shut down, which the evil people thought in this world that they erase history. They were able to taint it in the Bible, because you get it when they were talking to our God, and then you get when they themselves called themselves God or rocks in this world. And then you got the fake prophets, and I got Bible verses to back it up, the meaning of it. So it also brought me to Enigma. This is like some of the words as I was watching Da Vinci Code, as I was writing it down, because a lot of them he was referring to as far as the Holy Grail of the woman's covet, and how it was, covered by the men that had, that they made it a brotherhood, a man's covet. And the vessel, it's a cup, which is the woman's covet, the uterus, the matrix, the bloodline, the royal bloodline really belongs with the daughters. The daughters are the ones. So then he used the word enigma, right? Before I go into that, I'm just going to go ahead and close it up with a couple things of what I was trying to say about the Priory son. It says, according to the Da Vinci Code, primary purpose of Priory Sion maintain the truth about Jesus was married to Magdalena, right? So you go in, and you got to remember, look, everything's almost like, and I have proof, to say almost, it's almost like they put some truth in there, and then they also put what man wants you to see. But if you don't study it, brothers and sisters, you're going to see it opposed to what the way we were taught, the way we were raised. And I have Bible verses to back it up, as well as me doing some research, right? So if you look at it, you think, okay, you know, that's really what happened, right? But it also says that the Da Vinci Code was Sarah is no mere legend. She exists. Her lineage is the most astonished revelation in the story. Sarah is noble, proclaims the daughter of Jesus and Mary Magdalena, which really is the daughter of Mary Magdalena, you know? And it says the holy Priory, because Jesus he's made up. He's a God. He was made up. It was the Holy Spirit. That's how you birth the chosen vessels. That's how they come, that they come from the Holy Spirit of our Maker, which is Mother God, not no Father. That's what she said. I birthed you. Come on. And it says, and Jesus' bloodline refers to the proposition of the lineal sequence, the descendants of hysterical of Jesus' persistence to present the time. The claims frequently decepts that Jesus as married often to Mary Magdalena. Do you get it? Descendants living in Europe, especially in France, but also in United Kingdom. Because again, they put what they want you to believe, man, and then there's Jesus. So, you know, if Jesus is not around no more, how is she the bloodline? Because it's the woman. It's the woman that goes the Holy Spirit. Just like Sarah, when she birthed, it was the Holy Spirit. Those are the ones from Mother God, that is the true creator of heaven and earth, that we're royalty, that it was a child of promise. You were the child of promise. That means from the Holy Spirit of our Mother God, not from men, right? Now, and I wanted to finish that. Now, it also brought down enigma, you know? So when I looked up enigma, you know, let me go here. And I wrote it down so you could understand. And as he was saying some words, I was writing down. And I said, well, I'm going to write it down and I'm going to study it and see what that means, you know. So the word enigma means a puzzling. Ready? Are you listening? Because this is huge. Everything that I have is letting you know what man says and what the Bible really says. But they were like, they'll never find out. You know, this stuff was hidden way from history, the beginning of Genesis, when our fathers fell asleep, opposed to still now. Nothing has changed. They will never figure it out. And they're right. They never would have if you don't study, if you don't look deep into the little words that are in the Bible saying, man, what does that mean? What does that Bible mean? That little simple research, it almost gives you the whole revelation of the one simple chapter. And it gave me the huge revelation. It was like, wow. And Bible verses to back it up. And her speaking to us, right? It says the word enigma means a puzzling, an unexpectable occurrence or situation. The Bible is filled with examples of enigmas. Here are a few of 1,000 examples, scriptures, verses, enigma that are used now that we could see, but the poor reflection in the mirror, we shall see face to face. So what is it that you see? What do you see? What is it that you see? What is it that you hear? You know, it's almost like preparing the world for something that the way we've been taught, man-made, is drinking the Kool-Aid, drinking the cupcake, eating the cupcake, the dogma of man, and not really doing the research and Mother speaking to us, and also through Bible verses, right? Yeah, so it's almost like a mystery, a puzzling. That's what it says, right? So then I told you I did a little bit, and I had named it also my Mother God. When speaking of the Holy Priory Phenom, It's sacred. A woman, a womanhood. Sangreal, the royal blood. It's also known as a chalice, a vessel, a cup. Mary Magdalena, the royal blood. Daughters, matrix, the first womb. This is the first of the daughters. The prior sign was the keepers of the Holy Jeriel. The Knight Templars were the ones that took him out. You know, so then before I do that one right there, I wanted to bring up, where is this? He also said rocks. So I was looking up rocks and I said, what does rock mean, right? Like Moses also used a metaphor, rock, describe God in Psalms 18:2, right? Sorry, I highlight when I put my study, when there's Bible verses for me to look up. And let this really sink in, brothers and sisters. This is like the most amazing revelation, and I puzzle in. And that's what enigma wants. Enigma was from the Da Vinci Code. It's almost like a cover-up, you know, opposed to what it really says. And if you don't study, then you're going to see it, what it says. Well, God is a rock, right? We think that. Wrong. That's not what it says. But if you don't read it, you don't study it, you don't get the definition, you don't get the enigma. You're going to get what you see in the mirror and what we've been taught this whole time, this whole world, right? So it says in Psalms 18:2, he decepted God as his rock. The Lord is my rock. The Lord is my fortress, my deliverer. My God is my strength in whom I trust, my shield, my horn, my salvation, my stronghold, right? And then it says, and I would tell you, he replied, if they keep quiet, the stones will cry out. Get it? Who is, according to the Bible, Peter, right? Who is known as a rock in this Bible? Who? What did he say? Peter, I'm going to change your name to what? Saphias Petros, which means rock, right? So it says, who is the rock according to the Bible? Peter, the rock upon which Jesus will build his church. That he could refer to Peter, since Jesus changed Peter's name to Petros, meaning rock, that this will make Peter the foundation of the church. So he's building the foundation of man, that he is the rock, he is the fortress, he is the redeemer, he's the anchor of our soul. That's who we made, that's man-made. And I could back it up with Bible verses. So then it also says, who is the spiritual rock? Who is it that is talking about the spiritual rock? Saphias, Petro in Greek means, it's translated as petrol. Answering, and this is exactly what it says. Answer, speaking of Israel, right? And this is the answer. Speaking of Israel, in the wilderness, right? Israel was in the wilderness. Paul wrote, they drank the spiritual rock. That means the lies. That man, that followed them, that the rock was Christ, and there was, varying opinions to understand this. So if you read it, you think, hey, yeah, that's the rock, that's the rock. That's what Satan, the Antichrist, Christ, building those rocks, the foundations in the church. So you're bowing down to man. Man is the king. Man is this. Man. And he was planting that rock. Now, it brings me to Luke. So work with me. Amazing revelation. Like, wow, I don't even know what to say. And it's in here. And it's excuse me. Excuse me, I usually don't do that, but all right. So it brings me to Luke. And this is huge revelations, brothers and sisters. The answers are here. So Luke 40. It actually says Luke 19, and I'm only going to read Bible verse 40 and 44. So you can know exactly what it says, opposed to what the world was trying to tell you it says. He said, and he answered and he said unto them, I would tell you this, should hold their peace, the stones should immediately cry out. For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a thresh upon thee and compass thee round about. Keep it on the side, right? I'm sorry, that was supposed to be 44, but that's okay. It says, and even lay thee even on the ground, thy children with thee, and they shall not leave the stone upon another, because they knewest not the time of the visitation. So again, they shall lay thee even on the ground, and thy children with thee, and they shall not leave thee one stone upon another, because they knewest not the time of the visitation. You know, and this is them laying the stones, laying the rocks, laying the foundation that man, and it was God, it was Peter. He's the king. He's the one that was chosen by God. No, it wasn't. It was daughters. It's always been a woman's covenant. And yes, we have a king on our side, but they needed healing. We were all asleep. This is the whole awakening of it, right? So then it brings me to Deuteronomy, and this is our mother speaking to us. Let me read this. Oh, that song is so beautiful. Like he sings so beautiful. Let me see, Deuteronomy. And this is our mother telling us this. Please write this down and let that sink in when you go in there, look the meaning. And I'm going to copy paste it in the description in what it says. And this is our mother. And all that is her lamentation to us. And this is her speaking to us. Deuteronomy 32:18. Of the rock that began thee, thou art unmindful. Thou hast forgotten God that formed thee.